Alright guys, so this video is going to talk specifically about the slope and the way that we use slope when it comes to the hack method. So the hack method, very useful. You don't have to go through the whole process of choosing x values and then plugging them in and then finding the y value. The hack method is very simple. But in order to understand the hack method, you have to understand what the slope is telling us to do. So the slope is simply, for the purpose of the hack method, it's simply directions. So one thing to note is that our slope, it's always denoted by the variable m, and it is our rise over the run. This, although it is important, it's just to show you why some of the things are the way they are. So like I said, the slope, they are directions. There's only two possibilities that's going to happen. Only two. The first possibility is our slope is going to tell us to go up a certain amount of units and right a certain amount of units. This happens when our slope is a positive slope. And the other possibility is when we go down a certain amount of units and then right a certain amount of units. This happens when we have a negative slope. All right. So there's only certain possibilities, guys. We're either going to be dealing with whole number slopes. So right here we have 4, -2, or fractional slopes, where our slope is -1 over 2, 4 over 3. So in the case where our slope is a whole number slope, we always want to consider a whole number slope as we always want to put a 1 underneath it. So this is the same thing, and we can get technical and talk about why we're putting 1 under it. And I guess we'll slightly dive into it. Just because we can't just take the 4 and just go up a certain amount of units. By definition of slope, it is the rise over the run, so we need some vertical change and some horizontal change. When we're given just a whole number slope like this, we only have a vertical change, but we also need to have a horizontal change as well. So whenever we are given a whole number slope, we always have to put a 1 underneath it. So let's go through them. This 4, I already put a 1 under it. I have -2. -2 is a whole number, so I'm going to put a 1 under it. So this is considered to be -2 over 1. 6, it is a whole number, so I'm going to put a 1 under it. This is considered to be 6 over 1. And my slope m equals -1/2. This is a fraction, so it already has a vertical change over a horizontal change. And my slope is 4 over 3. Again, it already has a vertical change over a horizontal change. So after we look at the slope, we want to interpret what are the instructions that it's telling us to do. And the instructions are going to be dictated by whether it's a positive slope or a negative slope. So if it's a positive slope, which in this case we have our slope is 4, which is 4 over 1, this is a positive slope. So we are going to use this method. We're going to go up a certain amount of units and right a certain amount of units. That amount of units is going to be whatever the number is. So this means that I am going to go up 4 and I'm going to go down 1. Because it is a positive slope, I'm always going up and I'm going up this many units. And we are going up 4 and right 1. So we're always going to right, whatever the bottom number is, we're always going to right that many units. For this second one, we have -2 over 1. So since I have a negative slope, this means I'm going to go down a certain amount of units and right a certain amount of units. So I'm going to go down 2 and I'm going to go right 1. So once you get the hang of this, guys, I promise you, once you understand what you do with the slope, graphing is very, very easy. The hack method is very useful. You guys will use this in high school, possibly college. You guys will use this forever and ever. It's a lifesaver. So my slope here is a positive 6, which is rewritten as 6 over 1. So this means that I'm going to go up 6, right? 1. So if you notice that whenever we have a whole number slope, we're always going to the right 1 unit, always. Now let's look at our slope when it's negative 1/2. So we already have a rise over a run, so we don't have to rewrite it in any way. So my instructions, we are dealing with a negative slope. So I'm going to go down 1 and right 2. And for my 4 over 3, let's move this a little. It's a little bunched up. A little math magic. All right. So my 4 over 3, it is a positive slope. So that means I'm going to go up 4, right 3. So this is how the hack method works. First, we are starting at our y-intercept. And let's actually write one out. So this is how we identify and use the slope. So if we have some equation, negative 2x minus 4, we are always starting at our y-intercept. And I guess I'll show you. So think of the number on the left side of the x as our slope, and the number on the right side is our y-intercept. And we're taking that whole number, guys, the whole number. And when I mean the sign and everything. So in this case, our slope is negative 2, and our y-intercept is this negative sign included, negative 4. So how I would use this when I'm doing the hack method is I would first plot this negative 4 on the y-axis. Let's start right here. And then my slope is negative 2. But this is also considered to be negative 2 over 1. So this means that on my graph right here, I would go down 2, 1, 2, and then to the right 1. And these are the 2 points that I need. Remember that we need 2 points to graph a line. So these would be my 2 points. I would draw a line through them. Luckily, you guys have technology, and you guys are going to use Alex. And this is how we graph the line. Our starting point is the y-intercept. Our slope are the instructions, or our directions. Where do we go from our starting point? I'm going to record a video just on hack method. I just wanted you guys to understand this is how you interpret the slope, and these are the instructions of the slope. These tell you what to do.